Today you're in for a very special treat. Today I go all out and I share with you as many possible ways to generate way more real estate leads than you could ever handle. Now the goal of this video is to open up your mind a little bit and brainstorm with me. I want you to hear all these different types of real estate lead generation strategies coming from a different perspective. And also the goal for this video is for you to retain 2 to 4 different strategies that you can consistently commit to. Don't try to do all of these strategies or even a fraction of these strategies because that's a great way to fail. Focus in on the strategies that you can commit to and implement consistently because that's what it's going to take for you to be successful. Hey, it's Jaime. If we're just meeting, welcome to the channel that brings actionable content to grow your business through online marketing. So if that sounds beneficial, consider subscribing. All right, we have a lot to get through, so let's get started. With the strategies that you're going to see today, understand that some of them are going to be super broad, some of them are going to be incredibly molecular, so you're going to see them come in all shapes and sizes. On the left-hand side, we're not going to worry too much about that. It's just a general category, so MARC is abbreviated for marketing, and expert means based off of the marketing, you're being perceived as an expert. I'm not going to get too much into this category unless needed because it changes significantly as we go through. So let's dig in. So when it comes to advertising, there's many ways that you can do it, and I'm going to hit up the points as succinctly as possible because we have a lot to get through. So television interview, that makes sense. Get interviewed by somebody on TV. That makes complete sense. Create YouTube videos like this to establish yourself as an expert and authority or perceived expert and authority. Newspaper article published. So try to publish one of your articles. So send an article that you write about the housing market to your local newspaper or various local newspapers, if not national coverage or national papers. It's just a little bit more difficult there. So publish something in the newspaper. Facebook pages. You already have a Facebook business page most likely. So you can do a business page for your business, or you can also do business pages for real estate in general, for buyers and sellers, same as business groups, Facebook groups. So that goes synonymous, pages and groups. Blog. Have a blog about buying, but don't make it so general just about buying. Have a blog about buying in a particular city, in a particular neighborhood, in a particular state. So try to be a little bit closer to where you work because that's where you're going to be able to rank. Radio interviews. Try to get interviewed on the radio. That is something that a lot of people are looking for. A lot of radio stations are looking for market experts that know the real estate market in a particular area. So you'd be surprised at how many yeses you get. Magazines. So similar strategy to the newspaper. Have your article be published in a magazine. So write something of quality. If you can't write it yourself, hire somebody that can actually write something of quality and then submit it to magazines. Business cards. This one's pretty standard. Everyone knows to get a business card. So everybody gets a card. Doesn't matter where, doesn't matter the place. Everybody gets a card. Be a member of the Chamber of Commerce. So have your membership there. Webinars. So have webinars. Have webinars of what, especially now, of what's working and what's not working. When it comes to buying and selling real estate, teach people about investing, and have something that you provide in a webinar form so people can register and you advertise. Now let me pause for a quick second. Again, we are going into strategies in all shapes and sizes. I'm only hitting the cliff notes on every single point just to elaborate a little bit further. As far as effectiveness, it's going to depend on you. It's going to depend on how much you want to dig into that certain strategy and really bust it out and make it work for you. Some of these you can really make an entire career out of. Some of these are going to be in addition to. So as an example with the business cards, you're not going to necessarily make that a career. That's just more of a practice. That's a practice that you do to generate some leads that way. All right. Conferences right now, they're a little bit on suspension, but when it comes to conferences, you can go to conferences like wedding conferences. You can rent a table or a booth, something that has your information on there, and you're offering your services that way. Commenting on other people's blog. That's not necessary. That is a strategy, but it's more of an action. So commenting on other people's blog if you're not going to create and maintain your own. Direct mailers. We're very familiar with direct mailers. So either doing a letter or a postcard. Wow. That's quite a list, right? Now imagine having to brainstorm all of these strategies, writing all of these strategies down, and then recording this entire video. You know what to do. Mobile app. So if you have an application, whether that is qualifying people or it's kind of in tandem with surveys, but an application that either your brokerage or a third-party provider, the MLS or the association gives you, you have the ability to receive applications, to communicate with clients that way. Surveys, it can be in any shape, way, any way that you can think of. So whether that is digital surveys or whether that's paper surveys that you mail out, there are life insurance companies that make an entire career just out of sending surveys, and they get a ton of responses. All right, so letterhead, that's more of a that's kind of like a business card, a letterhead of your brand, your business, having everything that you send out have its own letterhead to establish credibility and have your contact information there. Industry membership. So the industry that you're in is real estate. So let me dig down here real quick. Zillow, we all know that one. Realtor.com, we know that one. Homes.com, we know that. Trulia, we know those, right? So industry membership, and there's a few more in a few columns down below. Events. A lot of you are doing appreciation events. Some of you are doing charity events. Some of you are doing fun events. Whatever the case may be, formal galas, whatever it is, events for your clients or prospective clients. So some people are renting out, some agents are renting out the movie theaters, and back when they were open, but renting out movie theaters to advertise that way. Billboards, costly but still effective. Flyers. You could either hand out flyers yourself, door to door, or hire somebody to do those flyers for you. Door hangers, very similar to flyers. Industry memberships, again, homes.com, well, Yahoo Homes. Industry memberships, Redfin, Apartment Guide, Curb, Hot Pads, Apartments. So when I say industry memberships, either fill out your profile in these websites. Some of them are free, some of them are paid. So fill out your profile there. And also, if the budget allows, advertise in those. So those are options for you right there. Email drip campaigns, that's a strategy. That's a practice of dripping on your campaigns. And that is synonymous with text drip campaigns, which you may see further on in a little bit. Industry membership, so auction.com, for rent. Again, so more industry memberships that you can be part of. So make sure that you go out there and create your profile. If it's free, if it costs to create a certain profile, then it's a decision. It's a business decision for you to see if that's something that should work for you or you want it to work for you. Contacting, it's a form of follow-up. So on birthdays, holidays, seasons, and purchase anniversary. So contacting them, whether that's a text, email, call, whatever the case may be, you're contacting past clients for repeat business. Buyer gifts, seller gifts, those are intuitive, but basically when you give a gift, you're there. Like if you give a gift like a cutting board, if you give a gift like a floor mat, if you give a gift of a portrait of the house, people are going to remember that. People are going to see, hey, where did you get that? When they have guests over. So that is something that is valuable and you stick around longer than the transaction. IDX website, that's a feature that goes on your website. So have the ability for people to go onto your website and them searching for real estate. Offer free home valuations. So that's a strategy that's more of a lead magnet where you offer free home valuations. All right, online profile. So similar to this, but this is not industry memberships. This is basically online profiles not specific to the industry of real estate. So this is more general. Bing profiles, fill that out. Online profile, Google, fill that out. AOL, fill that out. MSN, fill that out. Ask, fill that out. Farming geographically and financially. So this is either you farm the area geographically that you want to work, or farm an area financially, meaning the homes that are either priced more or an area that is turning over significantly more. So you go to the MLS and see the amount of sales that have happened in the past year versus the previous year versus the previous year. So give yourself 3 years worth of data and see how many times the homes are turning over. That way you have a realistic expectation on if this farm only sells, or this area only has 3 homes for sale in the entire year, then you're not going to waste your time with that. But if this other area is turning over 100 times or 100 homes every single year, then you know to invest a little bit more time there because there's more opportunity. So that is that's the financial farming that I'm alluding to there. This one is for marketing and recruitment. So going to schools of realty, that one I just left in there because, but if you're out there trying to grow your brokerage, then schools of realty is a great place, or real estate schools basically. Marketing. So this is marketing category. This is not necessarily from the prospecting side. Marketing is just doing an action and having people come to you. Okay. So local sponsorships. So sponsor really anything local, anything that you can think of, sponsor. What's valuable there is having your name out there, having your logo, your brand, and people are seeing that you're in the community. National sponsorships, those are a little bit trickier because you're reaching a broader base. So I put that there just for the sake of having a complete list, or as much of a complete list as I could possibly have. But national sponsorships are a little bit trickier to pull off. Bus side, so advertising on the sides of buses. I know it's a little bit antiquated, but again, I want to be as complex and as thorough as possible with this list. Soup pins, I know they're cheesy and just having a little pin right there, but it reminds people basically your name badge, and you'll probably see that list here in a little bit, or the name badge on the list. But having pins reminding people what you do. Local charities, similar to local sponsorships, but sponsoring charities where you sponsor a table, where you sponsor the guides, where you sponsor some aspect of it to where you get recognition. Now with those, it's not, yes, you want to give for the sake of giving, but you also want giving with it doesn't hurt to get appreciation by having your brand out there, your name out there. Television commercial, so buying some spots on television. It's expensive, but it reaches people. Newspaper advertising, so paying to advertise on a newspaper. In-office marketing and signage, so you're going to see several elements of that further on in the list, but having signage in your office. So if you work at a co-working facility, make sure that you have your logo, your brand, or what you do at the office. So other people, other offices, other business owners can see what you do. And this works for not just co-working facilities, but anywhere that you can think of. So make sure that you have your signage up to where it's visible, where people aren't left guessing what you do. Press releases. So you can actually hire people or companies to do press releases for you. Church bulletins. Depending on the churches that you go to, some of them are digital, some of them are paper, but you can certainly advertise in those bulletins. Landing and squeeze pages, that is a form, that's a vehicle, that's a tool that you can use for advertising. White papers and ebooks, so you can either write white papers or ebooks and distribute those as lead magnets. So giving a reason for somebody to give you their contact information. So those are more lead magnets. Advertising on Craigslist, both free and paid. Twitter, same thing. Facebook advertising, we see that quite a bit in this channel, so that is nothing new to you. Advertising on Pinterest, Instagram, LinkedIn, on your own website. Email newsletter. So email newsletter, again, is something that you could use, like white papers or ebooks, whatever you're advertising. Whatever you create, you can give as a giveaway or the lead magnet for people to sign up for your newsletter, and you continue doing the newsletter every week, every month, whatever schedule that you can commit to. That's the right answer. Banner ads. So banner ads are the ones that you see on websites. Banner ads are the ones that you see on other people's websites where you're being retargeted. That is done through Google Ads a majority of the time. So you have the ability to do banner ads. Radio commercials. We talked about radio, of getting in the on the radio in the terms of being interviewed or sharing perspective of the real estate market, but you can also buy radio spots in commercials. Posters. This goes back to the signage, having signage around the office and having posters that communicate what you do, so you don't leave other people guessing what you do. Search engine optimization, so SEO, super powerful. Once you have your website, make sure that you're optimizing for buyers, sellers, investors in your area. Again, SEO is incredibly difficult, so the more local that you can make it, the more success that you're going to have. Google AdWords, we spoke about it briefly, but Google AdWords is fantastic. It's the paid version of SEO. Yard signs, this is very common to you. You buy yard signs and put them on yards. Yard leaflet, so having the leaflets, those big ones that you see, those are huge attention getters, and those work when you're doing open houses, when you're doing anything that has to do with physical property. Those are great attention getters. Whether you're doing events, whether you're doing, again, the open houses, those are great to draw attention. Chamber of Commerce sponsorship. So the previous one was Chamber of Commerce membership, so be part of it, but also going above and beyond and sponsoring. Again, you can sponsor tables, you can sponsor guides, you can sponsor the gala, you can sponsor X, Y, and Z, whatever they're doing. That way you have your logo and your name being recognized, and sometimes if you pay enough, you can give a little blurb of what you do in front of the crowd. Magazines. So advertising on magazines. We spoke about being in magazines in the form of writing an article, but here we're talking about actually paying to be in them. Grocery stores. I see a good amount of advertising on local grocery stores where it's either an insurance agent or real estate agent at the carts, at the buggies, at the buggy level. Car washes. You have the opportunity to market on car washes. So if you do the drive-thrus, what you're going to find is either signs on the right-hand side or on the top, depending on the car wash that you go to, of course, but car washes are selling real estate, so digital advertising real estate that you can put your message out there. Bus stop benches. Again, that every time I see that one, that reminds me of Forrest Gump for whatever reason, but the benches, that's still an opportunity there. Again, I know it's a little bit of old school, but I want to be as thorough as I can. Train stops, very similar to bus station. Airport advertising, this is a little bit costlier, but just know that is available. You're talking about magazines, you're talking about posters that are at the airport. You have the ability to advertise there. Little League, very similar to charities, you have the ability to sponsor Little League, whether that's the shirts, whether that's the lunches, whether that's whatever it is. You are being part of the community and advertising to be part of that community. High school sports, very similar to Little League. You're being part of the community and you can sponsor whatever it is that they're selling. Local charities, we've already covered that. Quarterly market update. So this is more of content based. So what can you share? What can you do? Well, you can do quarterly market updates. You can do that on Facebook. You can do that on YouTube. You can do that on Instagram, Pinterest, what have you. So there's different ways to communicate that. Having a presentation for a full folder instead of just coming in with an 8x11 blank sheet. You have the ability to come in with a folder that's branded to you, and it shows a different level of professionalism at that point. Buying process guide, that's something you can put into the presentation folder, again, to establish that credibility, establish that professionalism. Selling process guide, I mean, I kind of have to. It's the same thing as buying except for selling. Email signatures. This is a great opportunity right here because you're sending out emails by the droves. So having a professional email, either going to Fiverr, going to Upwork, going to Box Brownie, which offers you a free email signature. Having an email signature that has squeeze pages, your contact information, something actionable is super powerful, where you're asking people to download a guide or check out homes, whatever the case may be. You have the ability to leverage that free real estate when you're sending emails to either past clients, sending emails to future clients, sending emails to whoever it is within your network. Online profile. So fill out your online profile. Yelp, And then you must get reviews. Get reviews on Google, get reviews on Yelp, get reviews anywhere that you can think of. So Zillow, we're talking about Realtor.com, Trulia.com, Facebook. Getting reviews is super powerful. Online profile, so fill out your Google Maps, which is My Google Business basically. So My Google Business is where you would go to fill out your Google side of the equation. Shirt polos, it's another tool again, so you have that. You can't see it, but having your logo, your brand. Local charities, volunteer. That one doesn't cost you outside of time. Client events, we kind of already touched on that, but having events. Affiliation, so this is more of when you're talking about affiliation, it's somebody else that can send you business, be affiliated with them. So mortgage person, most of you already have a mortgage person. Divorce attorneys, those are great ones too. Investors, again, these are people that can magnify their sphere and then push it onto you. So financial planners, things of that nature, business bankers. Again, affiliation. So affiliation from a service standpoint, HOAs have welcome packets. A majority of them do. So if you can get into those welcome packets early, yes, they may not be looking to sell immediately, but if you provide something catchy enough that doesn't make the trash bin, you stay around past the transaction. That's the key. Affiliation service, so apartments. Apartments are great ones because they're renting and they would love to buy. So having, again, those have welcome packets as well. Being in those is a great one, and these actually have a lower wait time because most people either go into apartment for a year, 2 years, a couple years, but are not didn't just buy a house. So that's great. For sale by owners, a lot of you already know that. A lot of you leverage the calling and the emails, the door knocking. You have that on point. Tax lien, so seeing which homes have to sell. Seminar hosting, we've kind of already talked about that in the terms of webinar. So seminar hosting, very similar, but it's more in the physical sense. Call center campaign, so getting a call center to plug in, seeing having those calls be made by somebody that's not you. Pay for leads, so you have lead generation companies. Pay for email lists, which is a direct email list from providers that sell email lists. And you can also, there's actually email list brokers that'll sell you email lists. So a lot of you probably didn't know that. I didn't know that up until very recently. So there's actually people that sell you email lists directly. And then there's also email list brokers that get these lists from these people, and then they'll sell them to you. So that's something else that you can do. Fill out your online profile, so Reddit is one. Door knocking, so we know that. Cold calling, you most likely know that. Breakfast, lunch, dinner with influencers. So that's more working your sphere and working with people that are like, we're talking about pastors. We're talking about people that principals. We're talking about people that know a lot of people that have trust in those people, which essentially are influencers. Not talking about the Instagram influencers. I guess you could have lunch with those Instagram influencers, but they're not always local. Facebook Messenger, so this is a form of marketing which you send out direct messages to your sphere of influence. Late payment list, this is a list that is sold by companies of people that are late. They're 30 days late, 60 days late, 90 days late on their mortgage. Notice of default, so you have those companies that sell that as well. Owner letters, tape to door, so taping letters to the door. That's kind of like the pamphlets. Basically, it's about the same, where you're taping letters to owners, asking them to reach out to you. Divorce records, so that is if that's your niche. So handling divorce, you can certainly market from that standpoint. Host open houses, expires list, so that kind of feeds into the cold calling aspect or the door knocking aspect. Just sold, leveraging a house that just sold, whether it's yours or somebody else's. So essentially you're illustrating that the market is hot. Just listed, same thing. Home that you just listed, having a campaign around that so you can generate more leads that way. Real estate owned, so REOs. Targeting those. Tell them what you do. So when I say passion speak, I mean tell people what you do. Don't be a closet agent. Networking events. So go to events and network. Speak with people. Share what you got going on and ask what they got going on. Yellow pages. Filling out your online profile is basically that one. I know we've skipped a few, not skipped a few. It's been a while since we went through the online profile, but here you go. Sphere of influence. So working your sphere of influence, there's many different ways to do that. You saw some molecular ways on how to do that already, but I had to approach that from a broader standpoint as well. Online profile, Quora. Quora, very similar to Reddit. Fill out your profile, letting people what you do, and also giving your contact information so if they have a need, they can reach out to you. Affiliation, so home builders. Home builders have a lot of homes that they need to sell, so having that affiliation would be powerful. And then affiliation from employers or employee benefits, so meaning relocation. So these are 29 different ways. A lot of them kind of overlap or so we can safely say over 100 ways to generate real estate leads. If you can think of any that I missed, let me know in the comment section down below. I'm super interested. This type of stuff is very exciting to me. I like brainstorming like this. This video was awesome to make. So if I missed any, or if you like to see me drill down into a strategy that was mentioned here, feel free to let me know in the comment section. Well, now that you have all of these strategies under your belt, let's focus in on one, and let's focus in on Facebook ads. So I'll leave a video right here that's going to help you get started. And if you found value today, please be sure to subscribe and turn on that notification bell so you don't miss another video. And of course, make it your best day yet.